Twisted Metal. I saw the trailer for this probably a month back, and I was intrigued, to say the least. But I did not have high expectations. It's another video game adaptation. Most of the time, they don't do a great job adapting video games, especially one with, kind of a non-existent storyline, or at least not one that could support a 10-episode series. So I went in not expecting a whole lot from this. But I gotta say, for my money, they could not have done a better job at adapting this ridiculous game. Do you guys remember this game? I do. I remember this game, and it was absolutely absurd. And that's what made it absolutely awesome at the time. But, you turn something like this into a live-action series, it's just a wild undertaking, and I think they nailed it. I don't think they could have written a better story to go along with it. Back in the 90s, back in the 90s, they didn't have these incredibly elaborate stories to go along with video games like they do now. Video games now are like feature films, but back then it was like hastily put together ideas that kind of formed a story, if you were looking for it, if you kind of did some of the work on your own. But a lot of this series seemed completely original, like it's original storytelling. They used the characters and the same premise, that the game used, but they kind of made up their own story, and I think they did a great job. Anthony Mackie as John Doe, fantastic character. I love this idea of him not having any memory before he was like 10 years old. It was just a great story to watch it unfold as he went, always kind of wondering who he really was or if it really mattered to the current storyline. It was a great idea just to keep just have a background story going on. Did you notice that Anthony Mackie Jr. played young John Doe? That was actually Anthony Mackie's son. I'm sure that's not a surprise. The kid looked remarkably like Anthony Mackie, a young Anthony Mackie. And I thought it was pretty cool that Anthony Mackie Jr. got to play the young version of his dad. I thought that was a nice touch. Now, Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth was incredible. My favorite part about this series. I thought it was going to come off as stupid and cheesy, but dude, to my surprise, this was my favorite thing about the series by far. Samoa Joe is the actual body of Sweet Tooth in the series, and Will Arnett does the voice. And I could have sworn throughout this that I was listening to Brendan Fraser. I thought it was Brendan Fraser. After hearing him in Doom Patrol, for several seasons, I'm like, that sounds exactly like Brendan Fraser from Doom Patrol. But no. I was surprised to find out that it's Will Arnett doing the voice and not Brendan Fraser, but superb voice acting from Will Arnett. Thomas Hayden Church is a fantastic villain, truly sadistic piece of shit that you really want to see get slaughtered. Neve Campbell continues to age like a fine wine. How is this woman getting more attractive the older she gets? It's ridiculous. The lead actress, Stephanie Beatriz, she starts off the series as kind of an annoying character, right? This character, Quiet. But as the story goes on, she gets to do some serious acting. There's a lot of really emotional moments with her, and I think she turned out fantastic. I really do. She won me over by the end. Overall, I was really impressed with the story they put together to adapt this video game into a 10-part series. I don't know if it will get a season 2, because who knows with these things, Who knows how much viewership it will get, and how the audience will react. So far, it has a 65% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not incredible, but it's still considered fresh. I don't know. Hopefully we get more of this series because they definitely left it on some cliffhangers. We don't know Quiet's real name. We don't know what's going to happen with John Doe now being under the thumb of Neve Campbell's character. They definitely left it open for a second season, so here's hoping. Anyway, if you enjoyed this little breakdown, this little review of Twisted Metal, then, like the video, share the video, like the podcast, favorite, follow, do all that stuff. And if you enjoy this sort of thing where I talk entertainment, pop culture, movie reviews, book reviews, series reviews, then please subscribe to the channel because that's what I do here. I try to do it daily. It's not always daily, but I get on here as often as possible and talk about the stuff that I love and sometimes dislike, but mostly I like talking about stuff that I really enjoy. So if you're into that sort of thing, then please subscribe for more to the Daily BS YouTube channel, or favorite or follow the Daily BS podcast. And if you do decide to stick around and subscribe, favorite, or follow, then I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks.